I'm just so excited. I'm like forgetting all the things. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start over with that. So happy full moon. Thank you for being here. And yeah, so women's empowerment, right? So it says we right there. And this is like a huge part of women's empowerment is remembering the we within this and remembering that we really are here to like support, uplift, and inspire one another. And so often, or we just, really we've lived in this world that almost, not to say we've been like coined against each other, but it's so easy to feel like jealousy or jealous of someone else, or it's so easy to like bring someone down or to see what else like someone is doing, or judgment, right? All of these feelings, very natural. And it's so easy to do this. And especially when we see someone excelling, or we see someone that maybe they have something that we don't want, or that they have something that we really want. So a few things around this too. So one of my teachers said, and this is something that really like has always stuck with me, is when someone has joy in their life, that is also your joy too, right? So you get to like share in that joy. So if someone is like crushing it, if they're doing like super well, you get to share in that as well. And to me, like when I fully could like embrace that or feel that, I feel like it made such a difference. And just like you're more, I mean, not that you're more apt to support people, right? But it's just like a beautiful thing of thinking about that you can up level the frequency of where we're at just by sharing in someone else's joy, right? And when you see someone post something of like taking a moment to like genuinely be happy for them. And again, just to share within that. And for me, the whole idea of like coming together too and like really like leveling up this frequency is to do that not just for us, but for everybody else, right? We want more positivity, we want more peace, we want more healing and nourishing. These are all like feminine qualities, but just something that we want within the world. And when we get to share in some of that, we get to kind of level up that frequency to that level or to that point of that, like that joy, that love, that beauty. Does that make sense or feel good or resonating? Yeah. Okay. So the other thing with that, so we also have like fear, and fear comes from like an imbalance of our solar plexus of the chakras. And I'm not an expert on the chakras. I know like the basics of it, but I love like the solar plexus is my favorite chakra to work with. And so fear is an imbalance of the chakra. And fear is also what happens where we have this judgment, right? Or when we have this, what's the other word I said before? Jealousy, right? So jealousy and judgment, right? So whether either we have this fear of being judged, or this fear comes from like when we judge someone else, it's because we have this fear of lack in the world. So or if you're jealous of someone, so maybe you're jealous of, I don't know, this is maybe a silly example, just something that I could think of, or like someone's followers on Instagram. And, maybe if you're jealous of that, that a lot of times comes from this idea that like it's not for us, or there's not enough to go around, right? That if they have all the followers, we can't get the followers. Or it comes from clients, students, from whoever you're working with. We have this fear that there's not enough, or there's too many people doing this. So one of the things that we really have to do is like heal this idea around fear and like working with that. And what we can do to work with that is to move into more self-love, to move into more self-worth and self-acceptance. And that really is the core of like coming back to our power. And that's what I want to talk to you guys today as well. We're mostly just going to do a bunch of practices just because that's more fun and we get to like experience it and feel it. So lost my train of thought. Cool. 1 second. Yeah. So oh my gosh. Okay, now someone's coming in. Perfect. Okay, sorry. Starting over. So we're going to move into some of those practices today. And what we're going to do is just kind of, again, working with like this self-worth, working with this love and this acceptance. So when we can do that, we kind of heal these other aspects as well. And again, the idea too, it's like, oh yeah, now I remember what I was going to say. So when we give away our power, it comes from this place of like not having this self-worth or this self-love or this self-respect. That's what happens when we give away our power. And this is what I'm going to have you guys do first. So we're going to start with a little bit of a journal entry. I know some people love journaling on here. Some people hate journaling on here. You're going to love it one of these days because it is so powerful. And yeah, you can pull that out. We'll do that in a second. So we're going to do some journaling just because we have to be extremely honest with where we are within our life. Like we have to, if we want change, right? We have to own up to everything. Essentially, we have to write it down, we have to acknowledge it, and then we have to feel it. And here's the other thing: vulnerability is power. It is like just being in that vulnerable state and then having enough of that like strength or enough of that power again to feel those feelings. And when we can feel those feelings, that's when we get to work with that. That's when we get to really understand it, right? We find more self-awareness from that. And then we get to move into that change. And one of the things I love about solar plexus, so even if you think of, solar plexus, it's solar, it's the sun. So it's these qualities of heating and it's fire. So elements or characteristics of a fire, it burns and transforms. And that's exactly what we were going to do. So as we build this heat within the body, we're literally going to burn our past self so we can make space for the person we want to emerge into or the woman we want to emerge into. So in order to do that, we have to acknowledge some of the shit we want to let go or some of the things that we do that we essentially, that is not working for us or that we want to stop doing. So again, we're going to do this journal. We're going to start with that. And then we're going to do some like super fun practices. I think you guys will really enjoy them. I can't wait to hear how you feel on them afterwards. So first, just grab your journal, go ahead and settle into that. And then, so what I want you guys to do, this is probably going to be like a 2-part exercise or so. I'm going to put some music on so you guys have something to journal to. So what I want you to do first is really just to journal, like, when do I give away my power? And so just thinking about different times, it could be saying yes when you mean no. It could be, again, like it might come from that idea of like self-worth or self-love or like it's really coming from that lack of that. So does that make sense? And if anyone ever has questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Go ahead and write on there. So I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes or so. And I really just want you, so just to acknowledge where you are taking away your power, or excuse me, where you are giving away your power. And that could be to certain people, that could be to experiences, that could be to work, career, any level of your lifestyle. So go ahead and start on that. And again, if you have questions, pop them in the chat. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. Let's take about 1 more minute or so to start to finish that up. Self in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself, I am enough. I see. And as you start to finish that up, just take a moment to look over everything that you wrote and just see what you have down there. It might be a lot, it might not be. And then as you look that over, start to think about how does that make you feel? So just any feelings that arise. And maybe you bring yourself back to that moment when you have given away your power. Maybe it's a conversation you've had with someone. And we're going to turn this into something really beautiful and positive soon. So again, just working with like that emotion, feeling that feeling, seeing what comes up, we'll honor that, accept that, and then we'll move into that big, bold, beautiful, powerful stance. You're part of us. I see myself in joy and love. And whenever you start to finish that up, again, no rush. So I want you to move into now of how do you want to feel rather than how you do feel from all of that. So thinking, and again, so another exercise you could do with this, up to you, is if you want to define what powerful means to you or what empowered means to you, that's another thing you can do first, is just to define that for yourself. And I'm a huge, like, I love doing this of like defining words, because I don't always go by what Google says. And sometimes, you know, or what society tells us that success means. That doesn't really mean success for everybody. And I think the word empowered and powerful has the same thing. So this is the third prompt, and then I'll give you guys one more thing. So yeah, just write down what either powerful or empowered means to you. And you can write that down with other feelings as well. All right, you can start to finish that up. And then cool. We're actually going to do the last prompt later, so we'll start to move right into the practices. So we're going to move right into that dance. We're just going to do some intuitive dance. And again, so this idea is just to build some fire, build some heat within the body. So we're literally thinking about building that fire to this place where we can burn and transform. So if you are someone who likes to like visualize things, you know, so at retreats, sometimes I'll have people, you know, write down thoughts or write down things they want to let go, and we'll crumple them up and throw them into the fire. I want you guys to kind of think of this as the same thing, but you are the fire, and your movement and what you're doing is what is going to burn this, if that makes sense. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to do a couple other practices that, again, they're just like, they're empowering practices, and they're going to be fun, and hopefully they'll give you guys some things, just reminders of like, as you move through life, and ways really to like reclaim your power, how to step into your power, and really how to like stay in your power, and just these like nice little reminders. So if you guys want to take like a minute or so, and if you need to like clear your space, I'm going to move my chair over. And so yeah, we're going to dance for a little bit, and we're going to stay standing for a little while. So I'm like a huge proponent of like clearing space and making sure, like, as much as you can, right? And just like be in a space that feels good. If you have candles on, like fresh flowers, I'm always loving that. All right. So we're going to play 2 songs. And what I want you guys to do as you dance and move, and if you want to like sit and just move your body, that's totally fine too. This is your practice. If you want to get like freaking crazy and use your entire room, that's awesome too. And so I want you guys to listen to the lyrics of at least this first song. And it's by, so I'm working with a coach right now, Natalia Benson, and she has a project Ninth Child. She's like a super badass, by the way. So a lot of these practices I've learned from her too, and then kind of put my own twist on them. But yeah, listen to the words of these, because I just find it to be like already bringing you into this empowered state. And like, I love music. If you've taken yoga classes with me, like that vibration and what's happening is just like, that's a great way to like raise our frequency and raise our level. So listen to the words. And oh, perfect timing. It's about to come on. Okay. And then just get in your stance. So intuitive dance, that means that there are no rules.
Have you ever felt like there's something inside of you? Just knows. It knows where you're
Close your
going.
eyes. Or leave them open.
And you're so busy doubting yourself. And you're so busy being afraid this world needs you to show up and be exactly who you came here to be, and to trust that that is more than enough.
Take a breath, inner sight. We on a quest for higher heights. I see the summit, yeah, the time is right. Reaching for my dreams, can't give up the fight. I got angels at every angle, and they are able to help me out the web if I'm entangled. Searching for the truth, sending blessings to Oshun. Set intentions with the moon, we attune.
She brings the light.
So the whole idea is just to move from your soul and nothing else.
She brings the light. She brings the light.
Open every door, yeah, we taking flight. Look up to the stars, cause they gave us life. We come from the womb, in this world of strife. But you give me hope, like the northern lights. Aurora borealis, sipping potion from the chalice. Ancient medicine, I'm floating in my crystal palace. I see you dancing in the magic wonderland of Alice. We no longer have to hold on to this malice. You are made of everything, take your throne and be a queen. Break the spell, it's just a dream. Matriarch with sacred wings, bling, shine brighter than a supernova. When we making love, it's like we praise Jehovah. Hallelujah, the Karma Sutra. Don't follow rulers who try to fool us. These crooked jewelers try to sell us gems when we born to shine. And the love that you seek is already inside. So why should I have to swallow my pride when the power that I channel's coming from the divine? Let's go.
Listen. She brings the light.
She brings the light.
Trust yourself. Know that you know and know that everything that you've been seeking, it truly has always been looking for you too. You are not alone.
To start to slow down where you are, but stay where you are just for a moment. If you want to close the eyes, maybe just sway side to side, just take note of your energy. Take note of how you feel. And as you tap into that, just choose to see the truth within it. Allow it to just teach you something within the moment, or maybe it's just informing you. We'll do one more song for now. And again, so you're literally just moving from your soul, from your heart, just getting into that embodiment practice and out of your head, moving more into like that flow, that creativity, just whatever feels good. The song's about 5 minutes long, and we'll take it up a little bit.
It's time. This is the direction. It's time. Being loved and honored. With the place that begins within each of us. Within each of us. That things can only get better. Things can only get better. Be loved and honored. Loved and honored.
One more minute. Again, just have to slow down wherever you are. If you want to just move to a little sway. And just take a moment again, come back to your energy. Maybe notice the heat within the body, maybe a little bit of sweat, maybe more of a smile, or again, just notice how you feel. Maybe not any of that. Good. Awesome. All right. So before we move into the next thing, just grab a sip of water if you have water nearby or you like that. So water is always huge when we are in these like transformational states and we're working with like all of our energy. It's just like super cleansing to the body, right? And again, we want to stay hydrated and think about like replenishing yourself with that. So water, super key. Okay, so we are gonna stay standing. If you want to again, just take a moment. We'll take a couple minutes. So that's just like the fun part of practice, just to get everything like going, get the energy moving. Again, just like check in with yourself. And then we're going to move into, can you send? Yes, I will definitely send the playlist to you guys too after. Yes, I love these songs, right? They're so freaking good. She's awesome. Okay, so come back to standing and When you guys find your place, so first I want you to think of one thing. Everyone can hear me okay? Yeah, okay. So just wherever you are, so just come to stand. And I want you to think of one thing on your list, maybe the biggest thing where you feel like you give your power away. And we're going to work on taking that back in a moment. So just think about that biggest thing, whatever comes up for you the most. So take that in your mind's eye. If you need another few moments. Good. All right. So we're going to work on finding our power stance again. So this is how we're starting to take our power back and just moving into a stance that psychologically we get to stand in our power. So again, I learned this from my teacher, Natalia Benson, our coach I've been working with, and it feels so good. So what you're going to do first is I want you to just stomp both feet down and just find your feet. Yeah, just like that. Good. Now just like feel the ground under your feet. Just like get grounded. Okay, we're going to do that again. So stomp. I have neighbors under me, they probably hate me. And just feel your feet, feel your legs, right? So when we get into this place where we can take up more space, that's what we want to do. We're trying to courageously move in where we can take up more space, right? So think about this power stance of how you feel confident right here, right? And just like feeling the shoulders down the back. Maybe you feel the sensation of ease. Okay, so power is our innate state. So it feels ease, it feels good. All right, so again, both feet, stomp, stomp. Good, now really feel that and like create your bearing, right? And you also create kind of like this triangle. Apparently a triangle is this, the strongest shape. So we're creating that. So just feel the feet, feel your legs, and get really strong right here. Good, now we're gonna bring our hands to our hips. We're moving into that superwoman posture. Now I want you to just gently kind of lift the chest just a little bit, and you're gonna look straight out in front of you. And just see how this feels. Like notice again how you're grounded. So you have your groundings, your bearings, you're rooted. Think about that as being rooted in your own truth, your own value. So you're rooted in who you are. Okay, and then as you stand up tall, again, you have that self-confidence on both feet. So you can stand up tall on your own 2 feet. Right, and then again, we just have that superwoman stance. Like it feels good, it feels powerful, not in the power, in like the personal power type of way. So I want you to keep looking straight. Yeah, and just stay with this for a moment. And just find the breath. Looking straight out in front and just feel the sense of ease. Right, maybe you feel a sense of clarity within the moment, feeling less distracted. And yeah, just feel that confidence, feel that power within you. Right, so think about becoming into this empowered state. And again, just stay where you are, keep looking straight, stay strong. So anytime we have these challenges in our life where we feel like we're about to give our power away, do this or visualize yourself doing this. So if I'm having a hard conversation in my life, or I'm about to do something that can be disempowering, I put myself in this stance so I can be in this empowered state before I have that conversation or before I do something that could potentially take away my power. So this is your new thing or something like this. You come into that empowered state and you try to remain within that powered state. Okay, stay looking straight, keep the shoulders on the back, stay relaxed yet strong. And I want you to visualize whatever that thing was that you feel like you give your power away to. Maybe it's a person, a conversation, or just something that you do day to day or once in a while. And I want you to visualize that. And again, just see it as you're looking straight out, even over a hill. Okay. And then as you're staring at it, feel the sense that you can overcome that, right? If you can stand like this, nothing can freaking bring you down. Nothing can knock you over right now. You are strong in your values. You are strong in who you are. You know who the fuck you are, and you stand. All right, and now visualize whatever that is, it's coming closer to you, and you remain within this stance. You don't move. And it's coming closer and coming closer and coming closer. Hold yourself. And now it's right face to face. You're met with it. And there's no running. And as it's face to face, all of a sudden its size starts to diminish and it moves to the floor. You don't have to look. It's about the size of a penny or a pebble or something else. So you don't have to look at it. Keep looking forward, right? But that size has diminished and you've stayed strong. Find your breath. And if you want to bring one hand forward, just kind of cleanse that out and then bring the other hand forward, cleanse that out, bring them back to the hips. Good. We're going to take a moment, just kind of let that go, shake side to side, release that out. Good. Awesome. All right. And then come back to it. Let's do that stance one more time, or that step, whatever, because this is so much fun. I love doing this. I'm going to do this like all the time now. So yeah, stamp, stamp. Good. Again, find that bearing, feel that, feel your strength, feel your power there. Hands back on the hips. And just one more time, we're just going to stand here. Good. And just looking forward. Yeah. Looking over that hill, right? Maybe you've climbed that hill today, finding something that you've conquered, right? Remembering what you are capable of as you tap back into your own potential. Good. Returning back to that personal power. And as you do so, you also return back to your purpose. Again, and just knowing who you are and why you're here. Stay with it for just a few more rounds. Again, let it feel easy. So think about it as if you can find that strength and grace all in one time. So again, anytime you're moving into a place of life that could potentially be disempowering or take away your power, you can literally do this or visualize yourself in this. Especially if you're going to have a hard conversation, feel rooted within, like just feel that spine strong, feel yourself being held and supported and loved, and know that whatever comes your way, you can handle that, right? Or you can visualize that coming at you face to face. You don't move, you stand there, and then it drops, right? So you're courageously holding up that space, you're taking up that space. And as you do that, you feel that self-worth, that love, and that respect for yourself as you hold yourself. Good. Release, shake it out side to side, let it go. Good. Good. Maybe kick the feet out, shake the booty, whatever feels good. Let it all go. Good. Find the breath. And just come back to this place of stillness just for a moment. Good. Just check in with yourself, maybe one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and just check in with how you feel. Good. All right. Release the hands back down. So we'll do 2 more practices standing. And I will remain within this state, remain within that strength. All right, so I'm going to play the music in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of come into like a goddess stance. You can just watch me for a moment if you want. And you're just going to be in this goddess stance. So if you want to have wide legs, right, just like kind of hold yourself, again, create that strong structure, or just think like that goddess, like literally that posture that we do. Find your own inner goddess right now. And what we're going to do is literally take back our power. So as the hands come forward, you spread the fingers. You can do it on an inhale and an exhale. It's up to you. So reach forward and then exhale, come back. So we're going to do this a couple times without any noise. And also you can kind of like sway and find movement side to side. For me, this feels really good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a noise. So it's going to be ha, ha, ha. An option you can find like ha, 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 if you want to move. All right. So we're going to check it out. So we're going to be low for a little while. So like you're going to be strong here. So obviously take breaks as needed. We're going to play a song and I'll just guide you through it. And again, we're just going to stay in within that. Okay. So find that goddess. First, just find and just sway first, side to side. Just kind of feel your body, right? Claim your space. Know where you are. Keep the shoulders soft. Hopefully you guys can hear everything okay. And start to have the hands. You can either be still or
I am woman.
anymore. Numbers too big to ignore. And I know too much to go back and pretend. Cause I've heard it all before. And I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Oh yes, I'm wise, but it's wisdom on a pain. Yes, I pay the price, but look how much I've gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible. I am woman.
As you're doing that, you are taking your power back, taking it back, taking it back. Feel it. Stay with that noise. Ha, ha, ha. Find your rhythm. Go low. You can take a break in between. Good. Let go of the hop. Just come back to movement. If you want to stay low, stay in that goddess. Good. Again, feel that security within. Feel that stability.
And I come right back, even stronger.
Feel that heat. Let it burn.
Any longer, cause you deepen the conviction.
All right.
In my soul.
Hands forward again. Come back to that motion.
But it's wisdom on
We're gonna add that hop back into the movement.
pay the price, but look how much I've gained. If I have
Keep it up a little.
I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible. I am woman.
Go louder, go faster.
I am strong, I am invincible.
Good, slow it down.
I am
Stay low, stay low.
I am woman.
Feel the legs burn, feel it all burn.
I am woman.
Gonna add the hands back.
I am strong. I am
10 more seconds.
invincible.
Stay low, stay low.
I am woman.
Good, let it burn.
I am woman.
Good, straighten out. Slow movement, slow movement. Okay, slowly come back. I want you guys to come to a place of stillness. So we're gonna do a standing meditation. So find your feet. Good. If it feels right, we'll do hands by the side for now. Close the eyes, come back to that power stance, but be relaxed. And again, just come back to your energy. If you want to sway, you can stay with that. Sometimes it adds this like relaxing state from the spine. Might be a lot of energy going on. Good, and just again, check in with your energy, check in with your breath. Slow everything down. If you want to take a couple shoulder circles. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Feel the belly expand on the inhale. Feel it gently contract on the exhale. Release your hands back down your side. And again, just notice how you feel. How does it feel to be in your power? Do you feel in your power right now? By holding yourself up taller, do you feel more confident that you can hold yourself on your own 2 feet? And then I want you to visualize yourself standing within your power, reclaiming your power, and just being in that state. visualize a person in your life that you feel like you could stand up to and hold this. Or again, maybe there's a situation you always say yes and you really want to say no. Maybe there's times that you forget how worthy you are of receiving your desires, of receiving what someone else has. Maybe there's times you feel that disconnect from that self-love. So as we tap back in, we come to that unconditional state of love. Right? And it's that inner goddess that holds that unconditional love, where we can always be held and nourished and supported. And as you stand within that self-confidence, that stronger self-esteem, that self-love, that worthiness, as you stand within that, just watch everything else that we did before burn. Those times you gave away your power or felt not in tune with yourself or your truth. And again, just let that burn. And as it burns, just allowing yourself to step more into your power, to step more into that woman you desire to become and who you are so dearly meant to become. And if you need to take one more moment, you can forgive yourself for any time that you did step out of your power, out of your truth, if that's necessary or needed. And just relax the hands by your side. Take one more moment just to feel this power stance. Maybe you bring a smile to your face. I want you to give yourself a big hug from here. Just wrap yourself up so deeply, so dearly. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Don't just do it, feel it. Good. And last thing we'll do here to let everything come together is just lay down into a Shavasana, just on your back, wherever you'd like. If you'd prefer to sit, so just a place really just to rest. Right, and just allowing it to be quiet, moving into as much stillness as you can. And this is your time to let everything integrate. Allowing everything to come together. You get to let go of any past version of yourself that you no longer wish to resonate with, you no longer wish to identify with. You get to step into more of that inner goddess as you move into that transformation state. And as we'll rest for the next few moments, you can bring awareness to the belly or the navel, just resting in that third chakra. If you wish, you can visualize yellow and just allow yourself to rest within that power. Resting from a place of empowerment. Just reminding yourself of how powerful you are, of how capable you are, of how worthy and loved you already are. If you'd like to take a big inhale and then just take a big exhale through the mouth, release, let it go, and just surrender into this new space for the next few moments. You can slowly begin to deepen your breath. Just letting that prana, that universal life force energy flow throughout the entire body. And as you're ready, beginning to make small movement, maybe wiggle fingers and toes or circle out the wrist and the ankles. And slowly bringing the knees in towards your chest. If you'd like to roll to one side or just slowly come up to a simple seat. If it feels right for you, hands can come to the heart center. They can just rest even on the belly, the heart, or on the legs. And as you're here, I want you to see if you can just create a little mantra or a little saying for yourself that will just remind you of how to reclaim your power, or maybe remind you of how to be in that powerful state. So it could simply be, I am powerful, I am empowered, or it could be something a little bit more in depth that relates a little bit deeper to you. So just take a moment. And again, whenever we create these sayings or mantras, wherever we create something, we want to feel it so deeply within the body and within the heart. And as we do that, we start to create an imprint on the body, which helps us create new patterns and habits that serve us. Okay, so the body and the heart gets to remember how good that feels, and it wants to stay within that more and more. So if you'd like to take a big inhale, seal that in, filling up every cell of your being. Take a big exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Release the hands down by your side. Maybe roll the shoulders a little bit, backwards, backwards, forwards, forwards. Good. And then last thing before we discuss and talk, I want you to bring your journal back out. You can come back to a seat or stay on the floor, find your journal. And just about 5 minutes or about 3 minutes even, I just want you to write like what came up for you. I just want you to write how you feel, any differences. My favorite way to journal is just like that conscious stream or unconscious stream. Yeah, unconscious stream. I'm just writing, like it's just pen to paper. So just about like anything that came up for you. And it could even be like a vision of like how you see yourself, like how you see yourself stepping into this more often, or again, just like how that felt in the body. So just creating anything around that. I'll stop talking. You know what to do. Just keep writing whatever comes to you. Nothing is right or wrong. up where you are. You can always come back to this and write for as long as you want for the rest of the evening too. All right, and then I'm gonna get everyone back to the screen whenever you're ready. And when everyone's ready, just come back to the screen just looking, so I know. No rush. Okay, awesome. So what I want you to do from here is just look at every woman in this room, and maybe you make eye contact, maybe you don't, but I just want you to look at them. And maybe just like say something to them that you're thinking of. You're so beautiful, you're so powerful, you're so capable, whatever that is. And as you choose to say that to them, also choose to say that to yourself. Right? So remembering that we don't show up to these things just for ourselves, but we are also showing up for others, right? We're showing to create this little ripple effect. And as we show up for ourselves and we get to be that like bright, shining light for ourselves, then we also get to be that for someone else. Or the other side, sometimes it's so easy to tell someone how beautiful they are, and we forget to tell ourselves how beautiful we are. So, awesome. Yeah, just like see who was in this space with you as you went through that transformation, like went through that process. And again, just like looking at all the beautiful women, you might know each other, you might know no one in here, and that's awesome. Good. So before I open this up, if anyone wants to share or discuss, and I guess one more thing, I wanted to say, I have like two more things to kind of end, but so I guess a summary, and there's so many things we could like talk about through this, but if you want to be in that state again, like of empowering one another, like being, we'll even call it like divine sisterhood, of like creating that and being with that. Again, when you see someone like, celebrate with them, or just be joyful with them, like share in that, even if you don't know someone, again, share in that, support them. And like, again, social media, I know it's such a way that we all connect these days, but comment and like send them love, or just send them like virtual, if that's not your thing, just like virtually send that to them. So things like that. And like, just again, supporting one another, maybe making conversation in the yoga studio, or just, whatever it is, whatever feels right to you. But again, like coming into that space where we can like uplift and support one another. And one other thing that, I've really learned and have taken into is, just being like wary of whose energy we take in, right? And whose even advice or feedback we take. And think about that too. If someone is, offering you something, see if it's coming from a place of love and that it's coming from your best interest. So just think about those things too. And as you're doing this for someone else, or maybe before you, and I'm going to say like judge and get jealous, because I think I'm still, I'm working on it. We're all human. It's something I still do. I try not to do, but if you feel that energy coming up, right. And then like thinking, how do I have my best, or do I have their best interest, or do I have love in my heart as I think of these things, or whatever it is, if that makes sense. But just thinking that as you come up from like that side, and as someone is like being wary of like who we let in, right? And I'll say one more thing of like receiving, right? Of how you receive that feedback, and if you are truly receiving that, if that makes sense. Or, and again, just like being careful of how you are receiving that, or if it's not for you, like letting it go in a sense. I feel like I kind of rambled on that. But anyways, so again, just like moving from that place of like love and like having their best interest. And then, yeah, any of those empowerment practices, and I want to hear on them, but just like being, again, like that superwoman stance of like being in like that, taking up that space. And again, you can do that mentally. Like I can think of phone calls that I have, or things where I start to get a little anxious, or, things come up for me, or maybe it's before I check an email and I'm anxious of what the answer is of whatever it is. And I try to give myself to that space and be like, okay, what would the empowered version of me, how would she show up? How would she react to this? Whether the answer is yes or no, or whether, however someone else. And as we do that too, we kind of get to like protect ourselves of what we take in from that energy too. And hopefully as we do that too, as we show up in that empowered state, again, that's that way that we can also really, inspire other people to do that too. So just a couple little takeaways. Again, if you have any discussion or any things like you want to add, I will stop recording in just a moment too. And then last thing I do want to like share, and if you don't know, so if you like love being in this energy and love like being with other women and are really enjoying this, and just like you want more of this, I am doing a program, Authentic Feminine Mastermind, and it's 12 weeks long of just women, and it's straight up like woman empowering women. It's sharing stories, it's sharing your dreams, your lifestyle, like your goals, it's sharing the shit that is like so scary to even say out loud, but you have a support group that is going to help you through that in a sense. And it's 12 weeks. So again, if you want to be like in this energy of like celebration and empowerment for 12 freaking weeks and then learn how to do that more of your life. So again, if you enjoyed this, like definitely reach out to me after. And it's just about finding more pleasure, purpose, prosperity, and freedom within our lives so we can step into like this true authentic version of ourselves and live a more fulfilling life. And I truly believe that our world's healing lies within more people doing what they love and in more people being true and authentic, right? We want real, we want raw, we want that authenticity. And that's another thing of these practices of like leading you back to the solar plexus work of like knowing who the fuck you are and like being so confident in that to share that with others too. So I could go on and on and on, and I won't. But again, if you always like are just like inspired by this, inspired by other people, and you're like, fuck yeah, this energy is great. This is so much fun. I want to do this for 12 weeks. Let me know and I can give you all the details on it too. So I'm going to stop recording before I forget. And so I just respect everyone's privacy. Okay.